Many times when we start off New Year's, we always have these things called New Year's resolutions. I wanted you to raise your hand if you guys have a New Year's resolution this year. Right? I do, to be honest. Okay, so almost everybody has a New Year's resolution this year. So I wanna... Now, one of the things I realized is that I've never really kept a New Year's resolution, to be honest. None of them worked, okay? And so you might be asking me, Phil, so if it never worked for you, why is it that you still keep on making a New Year's resolution? Well, I realize that it's very important to always have a commitment, to promise yourself one thing, even if you do have a tendency to break it. Because when you wake up from that disappointment, when you wake up from that, hey, you know, I failed, you learn something about yourself. You learn more about who you are. You learn to cope and to finally make it successful, such that at one point in your life, it may not be on a January, boom, the change just happens, right? You suddenly become a healthier person. You suddenly become this person who has improved on this aspect of your personality that you've always wanted to improve, right? And a testimony to that is that Toastmasters never starts on a January, right? It starts its year during May and September, I think, or October, yeah. So it's a testament, you know, change happens from within, but you have to desire it, you have to want it in order for it to happen.
Adjective, extremely bad or dreadful. Example, it is safe to say that Han Solo, the recent Star Wars movie, ended up in a direful state.
Spoiler! Buti na, napanood ko na.
I watched it.
Thank you, Tinsley. I didn't notice that.
And each of those types, you will talk about an idea of a resolution for you based on that type and what you think can revolutionize it. So first of all, since there are guests, I have to tell you, I have to somewhat warn you. You can be called for this. I'm not scaring you. It's fun. Really. Ask anyone. Guys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not encouraging them. Alright. So, first I'm going to call a veteran. Somebody who I believe is a person who has always made a lot of people laugh. And has made me laugh a lot of times. And this person is one of the best humor speakers I know. To the point that I can honestly say that she is the best. So Sheena, please, without further ado. So, New Year's resolutions, there are always three types. The first is always new. When there's something new in your life, you want to add into your life that makes it better. So, what is a New Year's resolution that you can see is new in your life, something you've never tried before that could make you a better person? And how can you revolutionize that and make it better for yourself to remember it and to do it? Please, the floor is yours. So, it's something new that will allow you to be a new resolution that's not just based on an old one, but it's something that you can be able to do, say, oh, I've never done this before, I can do this. And what can you do to make yourself do it? Just do it.
I am the Phoenix. I keep telling this to my friends right after a breakup. Why? Phoenixes die and then they are reborn into something better. From the ashes rises the phoenix. That is who I am. This New Year's resolution, one of my changes is to wear better clothes. Apart from the fact that it makes me feel better, I feel that it makes me reach my goal of being the one that got away. So I'm so happy that we have a new store near our house where I can buy clothes cheaper than the mall. And although I fit my clothes, I had this realization that I should not just wear clothes to make other people be regretful about their decisions. During the latter part of this month, I realized that I should wear clothes for myself. So that's my improvement. I will wear clothes to make myself feel better and not care about the douchebag.
In your life, you want to change. It already exists, you want to make it better. And how can you revolutionize it? How can you make it so that it sticks to memory instead of it floating away? So please, the floor is yours.
Is that your final answer?
Good evening, friends.
Good evening.
Me, Lou, a friend, guest in the metro. Something that I'd like to, it's a new thing that I'd like to have is contentment. It's contentment. If you have contentment in your life, it makes a lot of things. You will understand a lot of things. You feel much, you feel much more important. And you look on things in your life years back, you get more self, wow, I have so many things in my life that I never take a look rather than focusing into things that we don't. But the change is like, I'd like to be contented, but be it known that do not stand. You have to let your satisfaction go further. You have to be contented, but not let your satisfaction be over. Let's say today, it's okay if I just eat a kimchi, but years later, I'm gonna eat lechon. That's how I would like to develop myself. And
That is up to you, sir.
oh yeah. And good evening, friends.
So call me ganda. I will respond to that.
20 seconds na. Okay, that's all.
She's enjoying. My profession is I'm a freelancing design diva. And one of my New Year's resolution is to be able to post in my FB cover page me wearing a two-piece bikini by May 2016. Just add on friend on Facebook, okay? That's it.
I don't know. I get really anxious and nervous. I really overthink. As in, I shiver inside and I get super conscious about the way I look, the way I speak, the things I'm saying. And does anyone here feel the same way every time they see someone new or bump into an acquaintance?
Yes, I do.
Always.
Yes. 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 So
You're in the right place.
I'm glad I am not alone in that battle.
Flattering introduction. So first of all, Kevin, I beg to differ. You said that Latin is supposedly the hardest language to learn. It's not. It's not. Thai is the hardest language to learn. I've given up on Thai. I've tried learning Thai. Never. I've given up on Thai many times. But okay, never mind about that. Never mind about that. Anyway, so congratulations on presenting your 10th basic speech project. And I've been visiting this club for quite some time, and I've seen you grow, and I've seen you improve as a speaker, as a presenter, and even as a person. So before you were quite meek, but now you were more confident. You were putting your heart into your speech, and you were giving it to everybody here. So kudos to you on that. And here are 3 things that I would like to take note of. First, I really like the fact that you have used stories and anecdotes to inspire your audience. Let me share with you a parallel story. So, when you share about yourself, you become an unlikely inspiration for other people. Like, for example, last year I had an unlikely inspiration. Like, it was the least person that I could think of when when you think of an inspiration. One of the greatest inspirations I had last year was the 2015 Miss Japan, Ariana Miyamoto. So how did a beauty queen become an inspiration? So I joined Miss Japan because I wanted to be an inspiration to other people. So I'm like, big deal, you're Miss Japan. So you're just Miss Japan. So what's in it for me? And she shared her story. Being biracial in Japan is so difficult. People in my country don't think I'm Japanese because I'm half black, I'm half African American. And I joined Miss Japan because my friend who was biracial Japanese committed suicide because he was bullied. And I wanted to show the world that, it doesn't matter what race or who you are. It doesn't matter who you are, what you are, you can still be of worth. And she became the first biracial Miss Japan to represent her country in the 2015 Miss Universe pageant. And she lost the awards back. But nevertheless, why is it so inspirational? Because she shared part of herself. And how was I inspired to? How was I inspired? And how was I inspired through her story? Many times people, I've been fortunate enough to have grown up with friends and peers who are able to look past my distinctively East Asian features. But when I started working, I've noticed that there are so many people who just wouldn't accept that I'm a Filipino. And I relate to Miss Japan. And by sharing your story, you become an unlikely inspiration. And that's how Kevin presented that in his speech. He used stories like his grandfather, he studied philosophy, he was supposed to be a priest, but no, he gave up for that, and he focused on his passion. And he asked himself, what can I use my ability? And Kevin asked himself, what can I use my abilities to be of use in society? What can I use IT for myself? And he did that by using his stories. And now he has contributed so much to this website. So even myself, I'm not an IT specialist, but through his stories, I am inspired. I am inspired that it doesn't matter who you are, you can be of worth. So that's how powerful, sharing yourself can. So good job on that, sharing your stories. Next, he has used visual aids. Why are visual aids so important? Because it's not just making your speech more creative, making your speech more flowery, but it's all about expanding your demographic. By using visual aids, personally, I was able to understand that because although I am a very chatty person, I am very expressive, I'm very poor at listening. And I'm more of a spatial person. So by using visual aids, he has expanded his demographics. So maybe some of you are good at listening, but in my case, it's gonna be a bit harder for me. But when he presented his visual aids, I became a part of his audience because he has reached my demographic, which are people who are bad at listening. So congratulations on using visual aids. And lastly, I like the fact that you censor your curses, so mother effers and the visual aids. There was a B word, but he didn't use that. So as a lifelong cursor, I have to commend you on that because you have to accept the fact that there are some people in the audience who are unable to accept these curses. So there are some people in the audience who are easily offended. So it's better to stay on the safe side. So that's a really good strategy. I'd like to commend you for that. What are the things that I can recommend to you to be a better speaker? Here are a couple of things. Oh my goodness, I've been chatting too much. Anyway, first is to make your delivery more coherent. I love the fact that you've used a lot of stories and you've shown us a part of yourself and we can relate to that. But if you try to make them connected, if you try to connect them together, it'll make your delivery more fruitful. It'll make your delivery more. It'll make your delivery more. How can I say this? More understandable. So how could you connect your stories? You can connect your stories through a temporal method by arranging them in a timeline of events that's like from the past to the future, and how these events have developed to your current situations. Next, you can also make your delivery more coherent by not just adding these connecting phrases, but to also end it with an and. Like, for example, this is my story, and this is how this has affected me, and this is how I found my worth as a person, as an IT specialist. Boom, say, you can do that too, something like that. So you end up with that. And next, try to get out of your comfort zone. I understand that it's going to be very hard for people because there are some people who are very shy or really meek. But it never pays to just be yourself, even if you're in this direful situation, and you feel that there's so many people watching you. It always pays to be yourself. So when you try to speak from the heart, everything's gonna follow. Everything's gonna follow. You're gonna magically start becoming more interactive. You're gonna become more expressive. You're gonna become more confident. So if you try to speak from the heart, you'll realize that you don't even need to use notes. Well, you didn't use notes, but you'll become more confident when you speak. But overall, Kevin, I've seen you grow as a speaker here in Toastmasters during my visits, and I really commend you for making such a significant improvement in your delivery and in your presentation. And I just can't wait for you to deliver your advanced speeches. So everybody, let's give him, no, not a round of applause, a standing ovation. Good.
Others in gaming. He said, "Is that true?" I said, "Yeah, of course that's true." Who's a better gamer? He said, "Depends on the game." And they mentioned the game. And I said, "Oh yeah, he's better. He killed me." So yeah, we all blood brothers. We always have those things. Anyway, okay. So this is for Kristen's evaluation. Now this particular speaking manual has a practical side to it and a theoretical side to it. So I'm going to divide my evaluation into both things. So first, to the theoretical side, the first portion of your speech, which enabled us to learn about the methodology of interpersonal communication. Immediately, the opening hooked everybody's interest. Who among you here have had difficulty doing this? Of course, everybody's raising their hands. You know your demographic because people go to Toastmasters because at one point in their lives, including me, intimidated with those kinds of situations, right? That's why we're here. So you got people's interest by doing that. That's good. The organization outline that you mentioned at the beginning of your speech, that you were going to mention 4 things, was also very useful. So it would enable us and prepare the expectations within our minds that, oh, this is what we're going to be doing. Okay, this is what we're going to be talking about. Okay, one point for improvement for you, Kristen, in that regard, is that it's extremely technical. Right, the aspects of these are the stages of interpersonal communication. Okay, it would be nice that at every single portion you would provide a real-life example that we could all relate to. For instance, okay, when you say you develop personal feelings, so just last week I was talking to this friend and we really connected when we started talking about our poetry or something like that, right? It just started off as it's amazing how we started off as just 2 common people in the faculty room. And then we suddenly connected because of this. So something like that really, really makes it real for the audience. So that's just the only point for improvement. But overall, you did your job in the first part. So let's give a round of applause there. Less time consuming, but the more important part was the demonstration. And I'd like to give some feedback on that. Okay. So when you started talking to your guest here, and then you guys started conversing, I thought that it was already a good start. That, hey, hi, hello, and then you guys were in a common class, so it was easy to strike a conversation. I myself, whenever I take classes, and I'm going to have to take another one this semester, usually I do that. I introduce myself to a lot of other people, and I also relate it interpersonally. The one point of improvement I can say in the entire conversation was when you suddenly transitioned from, oh, this is our class, and then suddenly you asked, oh, so what did you do last summer, right? As David had already mentioned in his feedback in the last portion, it would be better to proceed off from that particular point. So the first level deals with more, menial details, right? The interpersonal communication. Then you have to move on to deeper things. So you ask him, so, we're taking the same course, so why did you take this course? Something like that. Okay? And that's the time that a lot of other topics might be opened up. Perhaps he might open up, well, I was on my travel to Boracay and I saw the environmental damage it was causing, so, oh yeah, so you've been to Boracay? Yeah, something like that. So you connect from the things that have already been mentioned, okay? So, overall, the conversation was just as it should be. You're not supposed to be best friends by the end of 3 minutes. You're supposed to start a conversation and demonstrate it to the people here who might have trouble doing that. And surely, that was a good example. So overall, Kristen, move on to the next speak project of this manual. You did a great job. Okay, back to you, David.
Ganyan pag evaluate ang kampiyon. Alright. So I've already seen this man evaluate a number of times. And I really can't say much about how he evaluates because overall it all boils down to one thing. Experience. He's experienced evaluating a lot of people in a lot of different ways, which showcases how he is as an evaluator. Kristen, when you mentioned this topic, I really didn't know what to expect because I've never seen this manual before. So when you started mentioning about how to start a conversation, I was like, I believe me, if you check my profile before as my personality profile, I used to be one of the worst types of introverts. The only reason why Phil became my best friend was because I hung up to him like a leech during first year high school. He was like, get away, get away. I was like, no, not me, I'm your friend.
I don't remember that.
Because I really didn't know how to do it. I can tell you, nothing, no sucking up to anything. The reason why I can talk the way I do, act the way I do, and make friends the way I do is because of Blue. There is because of Toastmasters, because I learned things from him.
Oh my God.
And Fiel, ibang learning ata yung nasa and Fiel is one of those people who helped me learn things. This is why I can tell you, chalk it up to his experience. He knows what he's talking about. He's done this before. He's gone through this before. And he did a good job, just as much as, of course, our speakers, Kristen, Kevin, and God, my brain isn't working anymore, Gibbs. I'm sorry, I haven't slept. Okay, so going past that, first of all, to the evaluators, good job. And of course, the speakers, congratulations.
Evaluations. Okay, I'm going to go straight to the speakers. So first we had Sheena. Sheena, you gave a very interesting introduction with the phoenix and proving that you are the one who got away. You made us laugh. And I also like your openness to us about your personal life and that your raw train of thought about wanting to gain revenge and showing your exes that I'm the one. One point of improvement for you would be to make more eye contact. You have a tendency to look on your right, upper right. I think it's some sort of habit, but I think you can really connect more if you focus more on your audience. But other than that, it was superb. And yeah, so you're always the humorous speaker that Blue looks up to. So yay! There. Next we have Lynette.
Oh my God.
You talked about contentment, and I think the question was about what you want what you want to change about yourself. You said contentment, and I thought this was a very interesting answer. Other people would focus on, you know, their physical appearance or something work related, but you talked about something that's deeper and is closer to your soul's disposition. Now, I really like your voice modulation. I'm sure your other co-members in Metro Manila heard you clearly over there, right?
Yeah.
Did you hear him? No?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, they're not listening.
And I also like that you used the prep speech pattern. You gave up a point, you gave a reason, you gave examples, and then wrapped up with a point. Although I would appreciate it more if you gave more examples so that you could clearly walk us through why contentment should be your resolution for this year. Maybe you could cite many stories about your dissatisfaction with things and how it made you feel bad. But other than that, I know I see you actually as a very good speaker, the one who beat me last time when I joined the competition, and I look forward to more speeches and more contests with you. So there. And then lastly, we have Mike. Mike, you said that what you want to change about yourself is your dissatisfaction. The question, you answered the question straightforwardly, and I saw that you actually have a natural confidence, like you have that aura of confidence when you stand here. You have some sort of command that would make audience look at you and really listen to you. Now, I suggest, so that you can further improve your table topics speeches, is to not directly answer the question right away. You can perhaps think of a story that would cover dissatisfaction or maybe examples so that you can elaborate more on why dissatisfaction keeps making you feel like a bad person. But other than that, thank you for visiting Blue Toastmasters, and I look forward to seeing you in Metro Manila. And then lastly, I also have to evaluate our table topics master, David. Now, David really walked us through to each speech pattern. I really like your examples because they were entertaining and funny. You kept us very interested, even though these information are actually quite technical, but I didn't feel it while I was listening to you in the audience. And then you highlighted why table topics is important, which I think is very significant, especially that tonight we have so many guests. And then one big plus right now is that actually I noticed that you speak more in moderation now. I mean, I think you and I talked before, and you said that you have a tendency to speak very fast. But I think tonight you nailed it, and I could actually say that you are a master table topic master. Okay? Now, I will turn over the floor back to you.
Thank you, Kristen. I'm flattered, at the same time I know I need to improve, but thank you. I have to say also, in your case, your attention you have good attention when it comes to the speeches. It's really hard for you to take attention on a speech, much more if there are multiple speakers. And the fact that you're able to listen to details of 3 speakers who are speaking one after the other showcase that you were actually focused. And you were able to pinpoint everything from humor to vocal modulation and even speech format, which is amazing. So it showcases how well your mind works and how much you're able to put everything in place, as compared to a lot of us, a lot meaning myself also, who think, this is pretty, you have to do this, butterfly. And because I'm really scatterbrained, I tend to overthink things, and I tend to think of multiple things at the same time. without a care of the format. Even in how I do speeches, it's a problem for me to build a speech, which is why my speech is 15% prepared and the rest is all impromptu. That's the only way I can format myself, by doing a outline. That's it. While you, in your how you wrote it, how you interpreted each and every one of these people's speeches, you showcase that you have a format and you know how to implement it. So, job well done. So again, this time finally going back to the technical part of this.
Dave and Michael. As for the one who murdered the Queen's language for the night is actually this one. Drum roll. Tonet. I'm sorry.
You murdered.
Instead of saying get yourself contented, you could say gotten yourself contented.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just checking if you're listening.
I was listening the entire time.
Great one.
Okay, thank you.
Alright. So, just a little factoid. Technically speaking, we're all, just by speaking English the way we know it, murdering the Queen's language. Because the Queen's language requires that you have to talk in this particular manner, no matter what. And I know, believe me. I had a long conversation about this with my teacher, and he got angry at me because this guy was raised in Hong Kong, and he was speaking in perfect British English. Then while I was talking to him, I suddenly switched to British with a British accent. And he's like, David, are you insulting me? I was like, sir, you have to understand, he grew up in Hong Kong. My mother also was taught English there. And therefore, it was my first language, so I apologize. So, yeah, I'm embarrassed. My problem. So, all right. The thing about language, about all these technical evaluations that makes it hard is the fact that usually it's not interesting because it goes slow. Tinsley, you're able to do it quick, and you're able to do it humorous, which I have to applaud you for.
First time.
Yeah, so
In a different club.
one thing also that amazes me about, I have to give you kudos, Metro Manila Toastmasters, is the fact that you actually buff up all your speakers here. So the speaker is not the speaker. The speaker is all of you combined. It's like cheating. But it's amazing. It just goes to show how much camaraderie you guys have. So awesome. So the next portion is the timer's report. So let's call upon the man on the mission, the awesome mother.
There are some traffic enforcement.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Hans.
So thank you for those very exaggerated so one Year's resolution that I forgot to mention a while ago was that I was gonna make an effort to be more punctual this year. Because most of the time, I'm actually late for meetings such as this. And if I'm not late, I'm actually too early. We're in so many meetings where I was early. I had to wait 30 minutes before one of my other group mates actually showed up. And this is important because if we arrive too early, we waste our own time. We simply spend our time there waiting for other people to arrive and while doing nothing. And it's also bad if we arrive late because we waste other people's time who have been waiting for us instead of simply getting things done. And I believe the same goes for speeches. If we finish our speech too early, we don't get to say as much as we want. But if we finish our speeches too late, then we waste other people's time and give less opportunities for other people to speak. So that is why it is important for us to keep track of how much time we spend for our speeches, which is why we have the timer. So I will mention the times for each of the speeches made and whether they're under time, overtime, or right on time. So we'll start with the table topics. The time range for table topics is from 1 minute up to 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So Sheena got 1 minute and 17 seconds on time. Donette got 1 minute and 19 seconds on time. And Mike got 46 seconds, so that's some seconds under time. For the prepared speeches, for the first speech we had by Gibbs, the time range is 5 to 7 minutes. So we got a time of 7 minutes and 2 seconds, so just 2 seconds over time, which is quite negligible actually. For the next speech, we have a time range of 8 to 10 minutes. So our speaker Kevin got 10 minutes flat on his 10th speech. So and then for our next speech by Kristen, on her first part, she got 5 minutes and 27 seconds, which is on time according to Phil. For her second part, 2 minutes and 43 seconds under time. And for the third part, 2 minutes and 53 seconds on time. Now for the evaluation part. For the table topics evaluation, the set time here is number of speakers plus 2 minutes. So considering that Christine also evaluated the table topics evaluator, that's 4 speakers plus 2, that's 6 minutes. So she got a time of 5 minutes and 13 seconds, so within time. For the other speech evaluations, we have Mike evaluating Gibbs with a time of 5 minutes and 28 seconds. By the way, the time range for this is 2 minutes and 2 to 3 minutes. So yeah, he's way above time. Sadly, for Mark, yeah, 8 minutes and 41 seconds. So he made this promise in actually fulfilling the role of 3 speakers. And for Phil, to be honest, I actually forgot to take the time for your evaluation. I sort of lost track when I was keeping tabs of the times. But if I were to try to estimate it, I believe that you started at 9:35 and then you ended at 9:38. So that would probably a few cents about 3 minutes. So I think that would be overtime. But again, that's not reliable. So that's just my estimate. So as we can see from this, some people are overtime, some people are undertime, and some are on time. So the same goes for trying to actually perfect the time we spend for our speeches. One of the things I learned from my operations management classes, when you're trying to make adjustments to your process, it has to be, when you grab it, it has to be similar to how a heart monitor goes up and down. Since you're gonna have, sometimes you go a bit under, and then when you get a little bit under, you have to make adjustments, and sometimes it will lead you to go a bit over. So that's how you know that you're actually making an effort to actually keep within that straight line. If you're actually having that graph similar to how a heart monitor goes. Yeah. So thanks for listening.
Even when it comes to technical evaluations, you have to be able to format that properly. And Hans made a speech out of it, which is awesome. Because, as I said, this is usually one of the most boring parts when it comes to technical evaluations. Because I've seen people who simply give technical evaluations. You had 2 minutes, 30 seconds. You had 3 minutes, 30 seconds.
You sound Siri.
Have 3 minutes. So it's amazing that we try, especially the evaluators here, we try to make it more interesting. We try to get the people to actually listen, because it is actually important for you to listen. And it's a good job. Job well done. Alright, next. Finally, the counter.
God knows
already
who
laughing
does
inside.
The moment.
So, again, a woman who needs no introduction. Sheena.
Communicating in public when you have a lot of stutters. Songs is only catchy when you're in the music industry. Why? Mama, mama, I'm Sharona. Or the more recent, what you gonna do with the dessert? I'm here to tabulate your awesomes and other fillers since it helps if you have less stutters, people can pay attention to your speech more and your message. So here's my tabulation. I was here quite late, so I wasn't able to take note of everyone. But when I came here, Matthew had 0, Andrew had 1, Piel 8, I had 1, and I had more but I wasn't able to take note. Trixie 4, David 4, Tonette 3, Mike 3, Glenda Ganda,
Yes.
1.
You said, that's already another ad.
8. Mr. Philippine Smart. Hess 4. Timmy 2. Christine 8. And for the Master Achievers guy in denim, I forgot to write their name. You had 22 and Kevin had 24. So let me leave with this note. Awareness is the first step to change. You know your tally, so good luck changing yourself.
Based on experience, laughter is the easiest way to get close to someone, to get relaxed. Sheena kind of mastered that art. But you have to also understand that laughter, or causing someone to laugh, is actually a very noble thing because at times you do self-sacrifice. And Sheena, as you see, was already throwing herself under the bus repeatedly with spikes. Well, yeah, Sheena, we have to commend you. I mean, you never fail to get us interested. You never fail to make us laugh, despite the fact that at times you sacrifice yourself for it. So kudos to you. Thank you so much for that. You got everyone's attention, you got everyone to laugh, you got everyone to enjoy, despite the fact, as I mentioned before, this is one of the more technical evaluations. So thank you very, very much. All right, so that pretty much ends the evaluation portion. So guys, thank you so much again for the time you have listening to me droning on and on like an idiot. So, in other words, though, thank you for all for coming. I'll leave the closing remarks to my best friend and Madam Presidente. But otherwise, at least coming from me, thank you so much for coming. I hope to see you soon again, and I hope you participate just as much as you have. Thank you very much.
Hope to see you there.
Hope to see you You guys had fun today? Yeah. That's the final tally. I just wanted to check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 people here tonight. Wow. That's the best way to start a year. Yeah. 21. It is boding well for us, okay? So now I know we're already late, but it's okay. We had 3 speakers. We started a little bit late at 7:45. So I'll just make this quick. I have a few plug-ins, and I'm just gonna ask feedback from people who want to give feedback to their experience. Okay. First and foremost, I just want to plug in a few things. Metro Manila Toastmasters Club. They meet on Mondays. 7:30 p.m. Okay, unlike us, we meet twice a month, but they meet 4 times a month, right? Or thrice? Yeah. 4 times a month. They meet every Monday, and that will be in Il Padrino Coffee House, who actually is owned by their president, Sir Irvin Pangui. I've known him for a long time. He was featured recently on a show called, Good Morning Boss. So he's an entrepreneur to look up to, really. If you want to taste the coffee, it's pretty good. There's one in Fairview where they meet at 7:30 p.m. every Monday, and then he has another one where I usually drink at if I visit Victory there, right in front of Victory Christian Fellowship in Galleria. Speaking of Victory Christian Fellowship, Tonette here is part of my small group. So we're a group of men who recognize that there are a lot of things that we have to be accountable to one another. So for instance, if I kill someone, I have to tell Tonette about it. Okay? But I haven't, thank God. So we're accountable, we study the Bible, we are engaged in fellowship, right? So we meet on Sundays 11 a.m. Usually we also attend service by the middle of the day. So this Sunday I'm handling the Bible study, which I should have done last Sunday, but I forgot. Okay, so yeah, because of the break. So and the break up. Sorry. It's okay, Neon. It's okay. It's okay. Everything's okay. Yeah. No. Because she has so many friends. I just want to reassure you guys. It was mutual. It's okay. Okay. Everything's fine. That's a settled. We're fine. Okay. Don't be too sad. Don't be too sad. Yeah. So 11 a.m. So any of the men here who might want to join us, it's 11 a.m. And another thing I want to plug is Emperor Toastmasters Club. They meet on the 2nd and 4th Thursdays of the month. Oh no. First and third Wednesday. First and third. Oh, we alternate. Okay. Sorry. First and third Wednesdays of the month. I was thinking of something else. First one was what do you call that? Green Hills Prime. Oh yeah, sorry, Green Hills Prime. Yeah. Green Hills Prime. Yeah. So sorry. Yeah, they meet. So on the days that we don't have Toastmasters here in Blue Toastmasters on Wednesdays, they have a meeting. And this is in Banawe Avenue. Banawe pa rin ba?
Yeah, Ateneo is
like the medical building right there. Small medical building?
Yeah, Biosync Medical Center.
Yes. So, the nice thing about their club is that after the meeting, there's like 50% of dim sum in Causeway.
Yeah!
Okay.
Let's go!
Or mamulok.
Yeah.
Mamulok.
So I really love going there.
Mamulok.
Sarado na ata Mamulok by that time.
Wala, we have to go to Ombin to get mamulok.
No, there's one in Quezon Ave.
First, I'd like to. It's a good work for the officers to make this meeting happen. Congratulations to you guys, right? And for the experience that I have, it's my first time to visit another club.
Wow.
So it's yeah.
He's
So
a virgin. Nothing is
Thank you
great to.
Thank you for going to my school. I really appreciate it. Sabi ka na po for the first time.
This is my first time, and it's memorable, it's remarkable, it's indelible. So it's in every first time that I have gone through, I always remember all the small details. When the first time that I invited a Toastmaster, Toots De La Torre is the one who, the one that, asked me to sign up, and instantly I signed up. And I can still remember the suit of Mr. De La Torre, the dress and everything. So it's like the same. So he's her father. So this is like the same. It's very memorable to me because I can picture all of you in my mind because this is the first time. So thank you for inviting us. And of course, as a return, we would like to invite you as well.
Yes,
and Metro Manila, the Friendless Club.
Yeah.
That meets in El Padrino. Every Monday.
Just being humble.
I just cannot think.
Say Hong Kong or let's say the United States, you can actually find Toastmasters clubs there and actually network with them. Last summer, I went to Washington, D.C. and I visited one of their clubs. It's an interesting experience as well because you get to also be exposed to their culture there and you learn how they run their programs. Interestingly, every time I go to other clubs, whether local or abroad, each club is actually very unique. They have their own personality. So there. And can I borrow a program, please? For our next meeting will be on the third week of this month. Fourth week of this month. That's January 27. Same time, same place. And then for the officers, I'd like to call a meeting on January 20. 7 to 8 p.m. at Coffee Bean, Katipunan, to jumpstart our year and to somehow set our agendas for this year. And then last announcement would be the Luzon-wide second round club officers training. This will be held on January 23 held at Land Bank head office in Malate, Manila, from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. So that's for the officers. I will be driving a car going there, so if ever you need a ride, you can hitch it. And then what else? that's it. So thank you for all our guests for visiting us. We truly enjoyed your company and Happy New Year again.
Yay.